Welcome back to Ancient Asian Legends. I'm your host, Mei Li Soon. If you're new here, welcome. We delve into classic tales from Asian literature. Previously on Ancient Asian Legends, Emperor Taizong's soul journeyed to the underworld, facing accusations and trials. Judge Sui's clever deception granted him 20 more years of life. As Taizong prepares to return, what consequences await his reign? Without further ado, let's dive into today's story. Chapter 22. Escape from the Underworld. Grand Marshal Zhu held a soul-guiding banner in front, leading the way. Judge Cui followed, protecting Emperor Taizong as they left the underworld. Taizong looked up and saw that this was not the old road. He asked the judge,
"Is this the wrong way?"
"It's not wrong. This is how it is in the netherworld. There's a way in, but no way out. Now we're sending your majesty out through the wheel of reincarnation, firstly to let your majesty tour the underworld, and secondly to teach your majesty about reincarnation."
Taizong had no choice but to follow the two of them as they led the way forward. They came upon a high mountain with dark clouds hanging down to the ground and black mist obscuring the sky. Taizong asked,
"Judge Tui, what mountain is that?"
"Your majesty, it's the dark mountain of the netherworld."
"How can I go there? It looks so imposing."
"Your majesty, don't worry. I will guide you."
Taizong, trembling with fear, followed the two men up the rocky mountain. Looking up, he saw. The mountain's form was full of bumps and hollows, and its shape was rugged and steep. Thorny bushes clustered, hiding ghosts and monsters. Rocky cliffs jutted out, concealing evil spirits. No sound of birds or beasts was heard, only ghosts and demons were seen moving about. Black mist spread everywhere. The Emperor Taizong looked far and wide, but there was no scenery. All was desolate and ruined. Around the emperor, various ghostly judges urgently transmitted message tokens. Soul-summoning marshals loudly rushed official documents. Swift-footed messengers rolled like whirlwinds. Underworld officials swarmed in black mist. Taizong relied entirely on the judge's protection to cross the dark mountain. Moving forward, they passed through many offices, each filled with sorrowful sounds that pierced the ears and evil apparitions that shocked the heart. Taizong asked again,
"What place is this?"
"This is the 18 levels of hell behind the dark mountain."
"What are these 18 levels?"
"The hell of hanging sinews, the hell of grinding, the hell of fire pits, desolate and dreary, full of troubles and worries. All are for those who committed 1,000 kinds of evil in life, and after death they come here to receive their punishment. The hell of darkness, the hell of tongue-pulling, the hell of skinning, weeping and wailing, miserable and pitiful, only for those who are disloyal and unfilial, violating heavenly principles. They fall into this gate. The hell of pounding, the hell of pestle and mortar, the hell of rending, skin split and flesh torn, teeth gnashed and lips bitten. These are for those who cheated and deceived, not dealing honestly, using flowery words to secretly harm others. The hell of ice, the hell of stripping, the hell of disemboweling, dirty-faced and dishevelled, frowning with worried eyes. All are for those who used big measures to buy and small measures to sell, cheating the foolish, bringing disaster upon themselves. The hell of oil cauldrons, the hell of darkness, the hell of mountain of knives, trembling with fear, grieving bitterly, all because they bullied the good with violence. Now they hide their heads and shrink their necks in misery. The hell of blood pond, the Avicii hell, the hell of weighing scales, skin peeled and bones exposed, arms broken and tendons snapped. Also for those who schemed for wealth and killed for profit, slaughtered animals and took lives, falling for 1,000 years with no chance of release, sinking forever with no hope of turning back. Truly, in life, one must not deceive one's heart, for the spirits and gods are clear in their judgment, and let no one escape. Good and evil will eventually be rewarded. It's only a matter of sooner or later.
Taizong listened and felt shocked and distressed. Moving forward a bit more, he saw a group of ghost guards, each holding banners, kneeling by the roadside saying,
"The bridge keepers have come to receive you."
Judge Sui ordered them to rise and go ahead, and they led Taizong across the golden bridge. Taizong also saw a silver bridge on one side, where several loyal, filial, virtuous, and righteous people were crossing, also with banners to guide them. On the other side was another bridge, with cold winds howling and bloody waves surging, filled with unceasing cries of anguish. Taizong asked,
What is the name of that bridge?
Your Majesty, that is called the Bridge of Helplessness. If you return to the world of the living, you must be sure to tell others about it. Under that bridge are surging, rushing waters and a narrow, treacherous path. It looks like a strip of silk stretched across a long river, or a fiery pit floating in the upper realm. The stench of blood assaults the nose and penetrates the heart.
Waves roll and billows surge, with no ferry boats to cross the water. Barefoot and disheveled, all the souls there are souls who have committed evil deeds. The bridge is extremely narrow. Still, it's 100 feet high and 1,000 layers deep. There are no railings to hold on to above, and vicious creatures snatch at people below. Shackles bind their bodies as they are driven onto the treacherous bridge of helplessness. Look at those fierce spirits by the bridge and the suffering souls in the river. On forked trees hang colorful silk clothes, green, red, yellow, and purple. On the cliff walls are wicked women who abused their parents-in-law. Bronze snakes and iron dogs fight over the feast, forever trapped in the river of helplessness with no way out. As they were talking, the bridge keepers returned. Taizong's heart was again filled with fear. He nodded and sighed silently, following the judge and the grand marshal. Soon they crossed the evil waters of the river of helplessness and the bitter realm of the blood basin. They then arrived at the city of wrongful deaths, where they heard a commotion of people shouting,
"Li Shimin has come! Li Shimin has come!"
Hearing his name called, Taizong was terrified. He saw a group of ghosts with broken waists, severed arms, and headless bodies approaching to block the way. They all shouted,
"Give me back my life! Give me back my life!"
Panicked, Taizong hid and dodged, calling out,
Judge Tui, save me. Please, Judge Tui, you must save me.
Your Majesty, those are the souls of the leaders and generals from the 64 outlaw bands and 72 rebel groups. They all died unjust deaths and have unresolved grievances. They are unable to be reborn and have no money for expenses. They are all lonely, hungry ghosts. If your Majesty could give them some money, I could save you.
I came here empty-handed. Where would I get any money?
Your Majesty, there is a person from the mortal world who has deposited a considerable amount of gold and silver here in the Underworld. Your Majesty can write an IOU, and I, the humble judge, can act as guarantor. We can borrow one storehouse of his to distribute among these hungry ghosts. Then you can pass through.
Who is this person?
He is from Kaifeng in Hainan province, surnamed Xiang, given name Liang. He has 13 storehouses of gold and silver here. If your Majesty borrows from him and uses it, you can repay him when you return to the world of the living.
Taizong was very pleased, and willingly wrote an IOU for the judge, borrowing one storehouse of gold and silver, instructing the Grand Marshal to distribute it all. The judge further instructed,
You ghosts should divide this money equally for your expenses and let your great Tang father, the Emperor, pass. His earthly lifespan is still long. I have received orders from the 10 kings to send him back to life. He will hold a grand water and land ceremony in the mortal world to help you all be reborn. Don't cause any more trouble.
Hearing this, the ghosts received the gold and silver and all retreated, saying,
"Yes! Yes!"
The judge ordered the Grand Marshal to wave the soul-guiding banner, leading Taizong out of the city of wrongful deaths onto a level, broad road drifting along. After traveling for some time, they arrived at the place of the 6 paths of reincarnation. There, they saw those ascending on clouds, wearing ceremonial robes, those who had received Taoist registers, wearing golden fish at their waists, monks and nuns, lay people, beasts and birds, demons and spirits, all surging towards the wheel of reincarnation, each entering their respective paths. The emperor asked,
What does this mean?
Your Majesty, please remember this clearly and tell the people in the mortal world. This is called the 6 paths of reincarnation. Those who do good will ascend to the path of immortals. Those who are loyal will be reborn into the path of nobility. Those who are filial will be reborn into the path of blessings. Those who are just will be reborn into the path of humans. Those who accumulate virtue will be reborn into the path of wealth. Those who are evil will sink into the path of ghosts.
Good indeed, truly good. Doing good leads to no calamity. Always keep a kind heart. Widely open the path of goodness. Don't harbor evil thoughts. Be sure to avoid trickery. Don't say there's no retribution. The spirits and gods have their arrangements.
The judge escorted the Tang emperor directly to the gate of noble rebirth and bade farewell to the emperor, saying,
Your Majesty, this is the place of emergence. I, the humble judge, will take my leave. Grand Marshal Zhu will escort you one more stage.
Thank you, sir, for coming such a long way.
When Your Majesty returns to the mortal world, be sure to hold a water and land ceremony to help those lonely souls without a master. Don't forget, if there are no voices of complaint in the underworld, then the mortal world can enjoy the blessings of peace. All unrighteous matters can be corrected one by one. Instruct the people to do good, and I assure you that your later generations will prosper and your empire will last forever.
The Tang emperor agreed to all this. He bade farewell to Judge Cui and followed Grand Marshal Zhu into the gate. The Grand Marshal saw a sea blue horse inside the gate, fully saddled and bridled. He quickly invited the Tang emperor to mount the horse, supporting His Majesty on the left and right. The horse galloped ahead like an arrow, and soon they arrived at the bank of the Wei River. There, the emperor saw a pair of golden carp jumping and frolicking in the water. The Tang emperor was delighted at the sight and reined in his horse to watch, unwilling to leave. The Grand Marshal said,
Your Majesty, please hurry. We must make haste to return to the city in time.
But the emperor kept watching, refusing to move forward. The Grand Marshal grabbed his foot and shouted,
Why aren't you going? What are you waiting for?
Losing patience, the Grand Marshal pushed the emperor off the horse into the Wei River. At that moment, the emperor left the netherworld and returned to the world of the living. Meanwhile, in the mortal world, the emperor's officials were all guarding the crown prince and the rest of the royal family as they mourned the emperor's passing. They were discussing issuing an edict of mourning to inform the empire and planning to enthrone the crown prince. However, Minister Wei Zheng stepped forward and said,
Everyone, please wait. This cannot be done. If we alarm the provinces and counties, it might lead to unforeseen consequences. Let's wait one more day. Our Lord will surely return to life.
From below, Minister Xu Jingsong spoke up.
Minister Wei's words are absurd. As the old saying goes, spilled water is hard to recover, and a person who has passed cannot return. How can you speak such empty words to confuse people's minds? What is the reason for this?
I won't hide it from you, Minister Xu. Since my youth, I have been versed in the art of divination, and my calculations are most accurate. I guarantee that His Majesty is not dead.
As they were arguing, suddenly they heard repeated loud cries from inside the emperor's coffin.
I'm drowning. I'm drowning.
This startled the civil and military officials, causing their hearts to race and their spirits to falter. The crown prince's feet were weak, and he was unable to support the mourning staff for the funeral rites. Concubines stumbled. Palace maids swayed. The officials were terrified. All of those present were trembling and shaking, dazed and confused, as the shouts from the emperor's coffin grew louder.
I'm drowning!
Today's episode, based on Wu Cheng'en's 1592 classic Journey to the West, was adapted and edited by Matthew Bohr, featuring original music by Studio Columna. Connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, or YouTube by searching Ancient Asian Legends for highlights of each episode. Follow us now. Find out what happens to Taizong after he returns to the human realm on the next episode of Ancient Asian Legends. Until then, take care and stay enchanted.